All right. And we are live. What's going on, guys? We are hours removed from Houston advancing to, 7-3 now, I believe it is, with the win. They beat the Redskins in a nail biter. I'm going to just go ahead and start off by saying I called it. I said it was going to be extremely similar to the Denver game, and it was. It came down to the wire with a field goal. And, I called it. So, welcome into the show, guys. We're going to be breaking down that win. We have a few things to talk about with the Astros towards the end of the show, but most of the show is going to be focused on Houston with the Texans. Just taking a look at the chat here. We already got H Train in, so we're gonna start talking about that Texans win soon. But this is the J&J Houston Sportscast. I am John Fuentes here with my co-host Ray. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, man. My dogs are over here doing stupid shit. I'm sorry, guys, but everything's fine. Another day in paradise.
Yeah, man. So let's just get right into it, I guess. The Texans barely beat the Washington Redskins with a backup quarterback for half of the game. I'm just gonna, start off by getting my rant on Bill O'Brien out of the way. I know a lot of people. I don't know. I don't understand. And I think I said this last time we were on the live. Last time we were live and we were streaming. I don't understand how people can defend Bill O'Brien. Yeah, sure. We're on a 7-game win streak after starting 0-3. But when you look at those wins, first off, look at who you lost to. You lost to some pretty lackluster teams that you should have lost. The only one that I'll accept is against the Patriots. But you definitely should have beat. You definitely should have beat the Titans, who didn't even have their starting quarterback, and they were hindered on their offensive line.
Who got trashed by the Colts?
Yeah, which we'll get to, and it's pitiful. And then the wins that you get, half of them were luck, and my God, when you look at Bill O'Brien, okay, look at who you have on offense. You have Deshaun Watson, you have DeAndre Hopkins, you had Will Fuller, now you have Demaryius Thomas, you have Kiki who's back and healthy, your tight ends are playing great, and your offensive line is hit and miss. I'll give you that. But you have all the personnel to be a really good passing offense. And I saw something online earlier that made me laugh. It said there are 3 things that are certain in life: death, taxes, and Bill O'Brien running the ball on first down. The man's play calling is so predictable. I mean, and it goes beyond running on first down. Just certain situations that they find themselves in consistently, Bill O'Brien always does the same things. Whether it's a shovel pass, whether it's a screen pass, whether it's a short pass to the dumping it off into the flat, it's always the same thing. The guy is predictable as hell. Who isn't even a professional NFL coach or anything, am sitting there watching games, calling plays that you're going to be doing, you're not good at your job. Imagine what the guy across the field, whose job it is to know what you're going to do, is thinking. And it's evident. Now, the defense bails us out of games a lot, especially today, and most of the wins we picked up in this win streak. Bill O'Brien has to go. I do not see them winning a Super Bowl with him as their head coach. I'm sorry, I just don't. And you can't win playoff games or a Super Bowl playing the way you play today, playing the way you played against Denver, playing the way you did against the Cowboys. You don't win that way. You just don't. Not with that play calling, not against the elite of the NFC, not against the elite of the AFC. It's just not going to happen. And you got a preview of that week 1 against New England. So unless this guy gets his head out of his ass and starts calling some plays that are not predictable and using his guys to the best of their ability, I mean, not even running the ball correctly with Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller is more productive as a receiving running back, and he consistently tries to push the ball down the throat of the defense, and it does not work. He'll rip off some good runs every now and then, but that's not going to win you games. And towards the end of the game, when he went conservative, again, he put us in a position to lose. He called a timeout when they were making their last minute drive when they were about to get a delay of game penalty. Who calls a timeout when the team is in that dire of a situation? Let them just drain. I don't get it, man. Maybe I'm looking too far into things. Maybe I'm just my vision is cloudy. I don't know. I do not like the man at head coach. I think he's holding this team back tremendously. Ray, if you have anything to say on it, let me know.
Ditto. I mean, that's what we've been saying. The same thing week after week with this guy. How about this? You put him with let's put it this way. Let's put our team, and I would put almost every offensive coordinator in the league, almost every one of them. I said almost ahead of Bill O'Brien, and this team would be gashing people. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe, and again, this is just me. You take New Orleans offense and put it with Houston's talent. Tell me what would happen. You look at what New Orleans is doing with what they got. They've got some talent, but it's not all that. With the talent we have is ridiculous, and it's not utilized to its full potential. It's just not. I'm so sick of seeing run on first down. I'm so sick. It's getting to the point to where last 3 games, people were putting 8, 9 people in the box because they know it's coming. You either get a 1-2 yard gain at most, but usually you get no gain or a loss of yard. You just don't. I mean, man, it's disturbing to say the least watching the game, because you're just like, to me, I watch the Houston Texans games and I'm not entertained because it's a close game or it's a good game. I'm more pissed off because I know in any second Bill O'Brien's going to fuck it up. And that's how I feel about it. And I just feel like any moment Bill O'Brien's going to happen. And luckily, I mean, look, like, to echo what you said, you're going to get in the playoffs with this kind of team, and you're depending on luck and your defense. I don't like our chances. I don't like our chances at all, because luck's only going to get you so far. That's just the reality.
Yeah, and it's just difficult to sit here and watch week after week after week when you know the potential of this team and you know what they're capable of. Like you said, put any other offensive coordinator, any other coach, any other play caller there with these weapons. I mean, you look at what the Saints are doing. Granted, they have Drew Brees, who I personally believe is the greatest quarterback of all time, but they don't have the same offensive weapons that Houston does. They don't have a DeAndre Hopkins. They don't have even a Demaryius Thomas. They don't have a Kiki. They don't have a Lamar Miller. They don't have, they have an offensive line. But we, on paper, are a better offense than the Saints, I believe. And when you see what they can do compared to what we do, it's frustrating. And I think there is some rightful frustration there. Now, we are definitely going to be hitting on Bill O'Brien almost all show, but we'll continue on. So starting off with the offense throughout this game, the offensive line took even more of a hit. They weren't the best offensive line already, but we already have 2 injuries to speak of. And I think you even touched on it last week, talking about how terrible the Redskins field is in FedEx Field. And I'm not exactly sure if those injuries were a result of the field, but we have 2 injuries nonetheless, and those are to Sergio Clemente and Zach Fulton.
Oh, no, not Clemente. That breaks my heart.
But with that being said, I mean, the offensive line didn't play amazing today by any means. Watson was under pressure all day. He made some questionable decisions throwing, to say the least. He turned the ball over twice. Really should have been 3 times with that interception. There was a weird pass with DeAndre Hopkins where no one could tell if it was a fumble or what, but I personally believe it was an interception. Lamar Miller, 20 carries, 86 yards, no touchdowns. Watson went 16 for 24, 208 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. And Demaryius Thomas was a non-factor. He was nowhere to be seen. Which I'm not even going to blame on anyone on the field. It's just I don't think he was incorporated into today's game plan whatsoever. I think he got the ball thrown at him once, and it was overthrown. But that was the only time I think he was even targeted. So, I mean, you go out of your way to trade for this guy, and you don't even use him come game day. It makes no sense to me. And again, that's a coaching decision. Who makes the game plan for these games? Bill O'Brien. So, man, it's just disappointing all around to see the production that we got today. But the fact that they won this game, it amazes me. I mean, they started off hot, moving down the field, doing well. And then the consistency, the predictability kicks in, and the defense starts to recognize that, and it goes down the drain. And then the offensive line crumbling, allowing Deshaun to get mauled. I don't know, man. This team, we said it from the beginning of the year. What happens to them is going to be based off of how well the offensive line plays and if Bill O'Brien can call a good game. That's what it's going to come down to, because we have the players on both sides of the ball. But coaching and offensive line play, that's the key for these guys, and it's suspect every game.
10 games, man. 10 games, and he's called maybe 2 good games out of the 10. Literally. And they happen to be really good. They looked good. I think, again, I mean, just... I got to say, what frustrates me the most... Okay, now I'm going to go on my little rant here. Ryan Griffin shouldn't be in a fucking uniform. Ryan Griffin can't block anybody. Damn near got Deshaun Watson hurt today because of his old lay block that he totally missed. He's a non-factor. The other tight ends contribute more than he does. I don't want him on the team. To me, it's the same thing that happened to Garrett Graham. He got a 3-year contract and nowhere to be seen. Just gone. Just gone. It's the same concept. Houston always gives these extensions, these tight ends, for 3 years, and once they get their extension, they don't pan out to be worth the shit. I mean, meanwhile, you still have all this cap money. You haven't paid Clowney. You could have went and got someone, I don't know, like a Jimmy Graham or something like that could have came into this offense and contributed immediately. Are you shitting me? And you're relying on, rookie tight ends that, honestly, Griffin has earned the right to be the number one over the time he's been here. But now that he's playing the way he's playing, I can't stand. I don't want him on the field. He's a detriment to the team. Every time he's on the field, he does something stupid. Either he drops a pass or he gets the quarterback killed. He can't run block to save his freaking life. Like, I don't understand why this guy's on this team, man. I really don't. I can't stand it. It just drives me insane. Another thing that's driving me insane, and it doesn't, I talk about it almost every damn week. The soft coverage these fucking teams have. When they get a lead, they go soft coverage. Just like think about it. If they get a 10-point lead, hell, sometimes it's even a 7-point lead, which doesn't happen very often. But when they get a lead, they go conservative. They don't step on the throats of the team, and they let them back in the shit. For Christ's sake, you had Colt McCoy out there making you look fucking stupid. You lost to Blaine Gabbert already. You figured you probably would have learned a lesson from that. But no, you didn't. You're still doing the same old shit over and over again. And everyone's going to sit here and bitch, oh, they won, Ray. They run. Yeah, they won, and they look like shit winning. Oh, win's a win. You know what? Yeah, that'll get you to the playoffs, and then it'll get you trounced 38-10 in the fucking opening round by like KC or somebody. Don't sit here and come to us or come to this channel expecting some sympathy for a fucking win. I don't believe in that-a-boys or attaboys or however the hell you want to say it. I believe in, do you have the talent? Yes. Would you have more talent on your team than the other team? Yes. Then you should have put up at least 35 on this fucking team. That's just the reality. And then when you go in and now you got the Indianapolis and Tennessee shit is going, like, they're back and forth every week. You don't know who you're going to come and play. They're not knockover wins right now. Are you shitting me? I don't trust this team to go out and beat anybody at this point. To me, it's amazing because of, quite simply, Bill O'Brien, period. End of freaking discussion, man. You can say what you want about the talent we got. We all know. All Houston fans know what we got. Everyone knows what we got, except for apparently the fucking head coach who knows pretty much everything, which, again, it's like wiping your ass before you shit. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It just, I don't understand the logic in, okay, let's not turn the ball over. Let's not turn the ball over. And then what happens? Deshaun gets pressured because he feels like he's got to make a play because now it's 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 8 and he's got to do something. That's usually how people get fucking hurt. I'm sorry, man. It's insane. It pisses you off. And I can't stand it. Cannot stand it, man.
I mean, a perfect example of what you were just saying is look at the Saints. And I know that people are probably going to get annoyed when we keep comparing them to the Saints, but the Saints are the perfect example of what you should be doing.
Yep.
The Saints went up on Philadelphia earlier today, maybe 35-7. Did they stop? No. They kept pouring on the points, and I think the game went into being like 49-10, something like that, something ridiculous. But the point is they never got conservative. They never took their foot off the gas pedal because they didn't want to give Philadelphia, who is a talented team if they get their shit together, a chance to get back in the game. Because you never want to take that chance. Never. Imagine if the Texans miraculously won the AFC title. Imagine if they go to the Super Bowl and face the Saints. Right now, the Texans...
Are you kidding me?
The Texans get destroyed. I don't think they put up a single point. I don't think that defense has any shot at stopping Drew Brees and the Saints. And it's all because they're not going to give you a chance to get back in the game if they even get a lead. Bill O'Brien will continue to call his style of a game. Okay, I'm going to address some of the comments in the chat because I kind of can't ignore it. So Danny says, if we blow it to Blaine Gabbert again, I will go insane. So will I, Danny. He also says Saints won 48-7. There you go. Eagles didn't even get 10 points. They got 1 touchdown, and that's a wrap. H-Train, that's Breeze, though, not Watson. Okay, but here's the thing. Breeze is given the opportunity to throw the ball. Deshaun Watson has to consistently hand the ball off to Lamar Miller on first down, and then when he does throw the ball, he's told to throw the ball on the most stupidest plays ever, and consistently the same play over and over and over again. When this guy has command of the offense, first off, when he runs the hurry up, the Texans, when they run the hurry up, are a efficient offense. When he gets the ball out of his hands quickly, they move the ball. If they were to do that consistently, that is going to kill opposing defenses. Danny also says, and I also said I'm going to kill Fairbairn. I'm assuming he's talking about Fairbairn. Yeah, I was a fan of his earlier in the season. It's starting to drop off, man. He's becoming one of those kickers who you don't know what you're going to get when he steps up to take the kick.
He's Randy Bullock.
Yeah.
It's that simple. He's Randy Bullock. If it's on the right hash, he can't hit it. It's that simple.
H-Train says, I agree. I'm just saying at this point, Watson does not compare to Drew. Well, I agree. Obviously, he doesn't compare to Drew, but I just don't believe he's getting the same opportunities Drew Brees is getting. I mean, Drew Brees has the opportunity to throw the football. He's on a passing football team.
Look, Sean Payton would make any quarterback look really good. And that's the point. Drew Brees is phenomenal. Is just the best. He's incredible. There's no doubt about that, H-Train. No doubt about that at all. But you mean to tell me Deshaun Watson with Sean Payton wouldn't be dangerous? That's a joke, right? I mean, that's the point we're trying to say is not it's a Breeze run offense. It's a Sean Payton run offense. It's a Sean Payton scheme. It's a Sean Payton play calling that gets them in position to do those kind of things. And that's what I think people don't understand. Okay, if you don't like the Sean Payton comparison, okay, go a different route. Yeah, what about LA? What about the Rams? You think Jared Goff in a Bill O'Brien system would be successful? Let's put that in perspective. How about this? You think you don't like that? How about Pat Mahomes in a Bill O'Brien system? I mean, can you put any quarterback in this league, or maybe other than Tom Brady, or maybe Aaron Rodgers, or maybe even Brees himself, that would be successful in this fucking offense? Give me a break, man. You can't sit there and keep denying it. You just can't. I don't know how Houston. I love fair weather fans, dude, because we're 73. We're really good. No, we're really not. We're gonna get our asses kicked, and then we go and lose to like the Colts or someone like that, and people are gonna go, "How the hell did that happen?" Well, because you're not paying attention, dumbasses. Again, it is any given Sunday. It is the NFL. I will give it that, but the amount of luck that we have had this year is mesmerizing because Houston never really has luck when it comes, especially professional football teams, number one. And number two, because even if you got it, eventually you're going to lose it. That's how luck works. I mean, just think about it.
Yeah, and Danny also says, why did we not use Demaryius today? We talked about it earlier in the game, or earlier in the show. It didn't even seem like he was a part of the game plan for today's game against the Redskins. He was targeted once, I believe, and only once, and on that one pass, he was overthrown. But
he was let single high the whole game, man.
Yeah, it was pathetic. H-Train also says, but with Peyton, I think we win 30-17, not 48-7, because Brees is just better so far, and our defense lets people score. I actually disagree with that.
I do too.
I think we also are 48-7 because I just believe flat out we have better personnel on offense.
We do.
Football gods awarded us 4 GD games. I'm not going to take the Lord's name in vain. Yeah, I mean, I'm just as dumbfounded as you guys, and not that this means anything, but I just want to let you guys know about a certain record that was broken today for Mr. O'Brien. I did an article on this over at Texans Wire, if you want to check it out, but it's about O'Brien basically making history this season for himself. This season, he has, for the first time in his career, imagine that, after several years of already having coached a talented football team, this is the first year that he has achieved a 7-3 record with today's win against Washington. 7-3. That's the first time he's ever done it in the NFL as a head coach. Also, this is the first time in those several years that he's put together a 4-game road win streak. That is the first time he's done that. Obviously, those wins were against the Colts, Jaguars, Broncos, and, of course, the Redskins today. Yeah, so he's making some history for himself this season. And if he continues this trend of winning, he could possibly have the first 10-game winning season of his career. He has not won 10 games yet. When people consistently tell me, oh, but Bill O'Brien's taking us to the playoffs. Oh, but Bill O'Brien's done this. He's done that. Bill O'Brien has done nothing. He has coached the worst, best teams in the NFL for the past several seasons. And every time we go into the playoffs, sure, we'll spank Cincinnati. We own Cincinnati. Sure, we'll get past some easy teams. But when it comes to facing the guys who are Super Bowl contenders, we consistently roll over and die. Kansas City smoked us. New England, Tom Brady owns the Texans. Let's be real.
Every single time. Doesn't matter. Postseason, regular, don't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter whatsoever. So when people tell me about Bill O'Brien's accomplishments, Bill O'Brien has accomplished nothing. He will likely accomplish nothing as a head coach in the NFL unless he goes to coach a team like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, because they will make him look good, like Tom Brady did when he was playing for O'Brien in New England. So O'Brien has done nothing. He won't. And this team won't go anywhere until they get a new head coach. Danny also, H-Train. Nobody gives you games. Ask Jacksonville. It's hard to win in NFL. It's still a good feat. 7 in a row against anyone. All I'm saying. 7 in a row is good. But look at who you're playing. You're not playing good teams. And when you're playing those crappy teams, You're barely winning the games. With the talent we have on this roster, not only should we have destroyed those teams, we should have done it so bad that people are talking about the Texans the way they are about the Rams, the way they are about Kansas City, the way they are about Drew Brees and the Saints. So the fact that we're not in that discussion with the record we have just goes to show. Everyone knows that this is just fool's gold. Everyone knows that when we get to the, and anyone who knows anyone who is who knows anything about football basically knows that when we get into the playoffs, this is all going to be proven to be a farce. Mm-hmm. We're going to get creamed by put us against the Chargers. I think the Chargers probably smoke us.
I think the Chargers throttle us.
The Chiefs definitely throttle us.
Yep.
The Patriots spank us. I mean, unless someone gets in Bill O'Brien's ear and tells him, hey, don't forget, you have 2 all-pro wide receivers. You have a good receiving back. And you also have Deshaun Watson, who's probably the best prospect quarterback coming out of college in the past several years. Use him. But he's not going to. He's going to keep running the ball on first down, keep staying predictable, and keep barely winning games. Today we should have lost. Let's be real. The Redskins lost today. We didn't win. Last week, the Broncos
lost. Just
like
the Broncos.
Yep.
Just like the Colts.
Yep.
I mean, we could go down the list.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about happier things. Let's talk about the defense. I was very happy with the defense today. And here's why. 5 total sacks against 2 different quarterbacks. You do it against Alex Smith. You do it against... By the way, he was sacked 3 times. Then you sack Colt McCoy twice. Jadeveon Clowney, he's playing great. All the shit I talked about him in the past, I can't right now because he's having a good year. J.J. Watt, same thing. Having a good season. Brandon Scarlett balled out today. Kareem Jackson, still playing solid. Justin Reed, great at safety. This defense is doing their job. The secondary, I was even impressed with Sharice Wright. I've been impressed with Sharice Wright the past few games. I just haven't really said much about him, but he's been playing solid. He's not been playing great. He hasn't been playing terrible, but he has been playing solid. Keep your eye on him in the next few games. Hopefully he doesn't drop off and I don't look like an idiot. But for the past few games, Sharice Wright has been playing solid at cornerback. We held Adrian Peterson to under 100 yards, but he did score 2 touchdowns. I personally blame that on the fact that the offense just got off the field so quick and the defense was on the field for so long. You can only do so much. And then they allowed 2 quarterbacks in Colt McCoy and Alex Smith, who Alex Smith, as we said before in the last episode, just runs over the Texans on his feet every game. But they allowed 2 different quarterbacks to rush for almost 40 yards on them. So... yeah. And then, of course, injuring Alex Smith. Out for the year. Broken fibula and tibula, I believe, something like that. But he's out for the year. He needs season-ending surgery. So the defense, from my perspective, kept the Texans in the game, gave them a chance to win, and won the game for them. Justin Reed's pick 6 was spectacular. They flustered Smith so much that towards the end of the first half, he threw another pick to Scarlett. The defense is doing their job, and whenever they do play bad, it's because they're so freaking tired from being on the field for so long.
I'm kind of curious. What's the season totals for time of possession for Houston on offense and versus their opposing?
I'd have to look that up. Yeah,
I'm willing to bet it's damn near double. I'm willing to bet. It's pretty close to double the time of offense being on the field versus defense. The defense is not the issue. I'm actually content with the defense. I think our defense helps win us games and keeps us in games fairly well considering the amount of time they're on the field. But like I've been saying all season long, for whatever reason, Romeo Crennel has been talking to Bill O'Brien too much because, again, when they go up, they get soft. They run the soft zone shit. They run the 10, 15-yard splits from the corners again and again and again. And people keep converting thirds. I mean, it's amazing how dominant this defense is in attack mode, but when they go into prevent and / base mode, they start getting torched. And then people were like, well, wondering how the hell these teams are coming back. How the hell a Colt McCoy could do that to him right off the bench? You know what I mean? Like, give me a break, man. Like, it's because you went soft, you went conservative. And I'm so sick. You know what? I would rather lose with an attacking defense, barely lose with attacking defense, than barely win with a soft zone defense and some luck sprinkled into that, because that's what this is. That's why when we get wins, that's why I can't celebrate them, because I know it's going to be short lived. Like, I don't even want to go into talk about next week, because I have a feeling they could lose. It don't matter who it's against right now. It could be against the damn Raiders or the Cardinals right now. And for whatever reason, I would just be scared, because the fucking guy who is calling the plays, man, you can't. It doesn't matter it all goes back to him. Even if we're talking about defense right now, and it still goes back to him. The play calling is ruled by Bill O'Brien. Romeo Crennel runs the defense, right? Romeo Crennel is doing the same thing Bill O'Brien does. Bend but don't break. That has been Romeo Crennel's mantra since he's been in the league. Instead of just stepping on their fucking throats and stepping on their throats, you know what I would like to see? As good as the defense as we've got, as comfortable as we are with our defense, I would love to see our defense stop anyone. I don't care if it's a good or bad team, keep them out of double-digit points. Why can't we do that? With all the talent we have on this defense, we can't do that. Not even against the shitty Colts before they found their second gear. Couldn't do it. I mean, like, can I get like under double digits? Can I get like 9, maybe 6? How about a 7? I can give up a touchdown, but keep them under. And the reason why, probably time of possession. Willing to fucking bet it. Because you got Bill O'Brien going conservative, 3 and out. Then you got the defense on the field for fucking 8 plays in a row. Yeah, man, the shit's gonna add up. People are gonna get tired. People are gonna get fucking hurt. And then when you get to the playoffs and you get your ass blitzed out of the stadium, people are gonna, well, I don't understand how they lost. Well, are you serious? Who are their coordinators right now? Bill O'Brien, Romeo Crennel. They're both doing the same shit. We go up 10 or even 7, and then we go, oh, it's okay. We can kind of just step back. That's what it seems like. It's like very passive, very passe, and it's annoying as shit. Why can't you just keep killing people? Why do you have to get so passive on shit? Oh, it's a long season. Fuck that. Long season. You get paid millions of dollars. I mean, damn, what kind of season you're in? I don't care if you got to play 20 games. That's bullshit. I don't want to hear that crap, man. God, I can't stand. Look, okay, I'm going to go on a little bit. I can't stand not being able to enjoy a fucking win. You know how annoying that is? Do you know how frustrating that is? You can't even enjoy the win because you just know that eventually, in the end, it's not going to fucking matter because you're going to get your ass kicked. You know how annoying it is to be negative about a team that you love all the fucking time because of who your coach is? I mean, you just got, oh my God, man. Like, I can't even, it's annoying.
Yeah, to put it mildly. But again, every time it seems the Texans win, it's the same story. They should have lost. They could have easily lost. Bill O'Brien called a terrible game. It's not going to matter in the end because when you play against a real team, it's not going to work out this way. But with that being said, we do have to look on to next week. Next week, we have the Titans. Next week.
Monday night, prime time. Yay.
Yeah.
That'll go over well.
Prime time against the Titans. But we have seen this story before. Now, first off, heading into Monday night, the Titans got trounced today by the Colts. 38-10 was the score. 38-10. During that game, Marcus Mariota, it looks like he won't be making the game for Houston yet again this season because he suffered an elbow injury
It's all right. We'll lose against Gabbert.
Exactly. Blaine Gabbert, the Texan killer himself, will come in, and he might just shock us again. The defense of the of the Titans has been playing very well, except for today when they play against an offense that isn't afraid to throw the ball. Against us, though, they are primed to have a good game. I expect this to be close yet again. It's sad that I have to say this, but I think once again, this game will likely go exactly the same as Denver did, exactly the same as Washington did today. We might win, but we might win the same way we won these past two games. A missed field goal by the opposite team, down to the wire, last second. This team cannot put lesser teams away. They don't step on the gas pedal. Bill O'Brien gets conservative and lets the opposing team back in every time. So I'm expecting that to happen. I just can't find it in me to say out loud that Blaine Gabbert gets another one over on us, and if he does, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'll let you comment on the matchup first, and then we can give our predictions after and move on to some Astros stuff.
Yeah, my prediction is what it is every week with this team. It's going to be 24-20. And you can probably put that as a lock for every game from this point out. I'm not even joking. I wish I was joking about that. I'm not even. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm worried about the Indianapolis game more than any game on the schedule right now. I mean, they hung 38 on a team that beat us with Blaine Gabbert, dude. Like, this is insane, man. Like, this is just, I don't even understand it anymore, man. Like, to try to make a prediction on this team is Wheel of Fortune, man. I say if Bill O'Brien wants to win against Tennessee, he'll do what he did in Jacksonville. He'll open up his playbook. He will not be conservative, and he'll just play with what he's got with Deshaun Watson. But then again, that's putting trust in Bill O'Brien. See, like, again, guys, it goes back to the same thing over and over again. It don't matter what we're talking about. Defense, predictions, it's all the same shit. I sound like a broken record, man. Like, I can't make this shit up. I don't trust this guy. He just, I don't care what he's done for me this year. 7-3 when realistically you should be 3-7 max. If it wasn't for luck and some bad play calling by other coaches. Are you shitting me? I mean, think about that, man. Man, prediction, man. My prediction is 27-20 Tennessee. I'm not even shitting you.
That's fair. I'm gonna go 17-16 Houston, but I can very much see Tennessee winning with the same score. I don't see this offense putting up a bunch of points next week. I think O'Brien goes in with this mentality that he's going to run the ball against Tennessee, and whenever he does that, no points are produced. Watching this guy coach the Texans week after week, I just lose more and more hype. Yeah, I'm not as excited as I was about Sundays. I just think that this man's a cancer to the team. Honestly, he's holding them back so much. But sadly, he won't be gotten rid of until something terrible happens. Maybe not even. So let's look at some stuff in the chat. What if H-Train says, what if they go all the way like this? It's possible, right? I mean, it's possible, but highly unlikely. I don't see them winning this way against the Chiefs or the Patriots or the Saints or the Rams. They don't allow that kind of shit to happen. Yeah, even the Eagles. I think we might lose to the Eagles. I think they might be the team that stops our win streak. Hell, even Cleveland might end our win streak. That's sad. Danny says 28-24 Houston. H-Train says 37-23 Houston. H-Train, you have way more faith in this team than I do. It's at home, right? Yes, H-Train, it is at home. Danny also says, if we want to win, torch the Titans secondary, follow on Luck's footsteps, and gunsling the ball. We should do that every game. Just throw the ball.
Until we get a bell cow running back, like a legitimate running back, like I don't know. I'm not talking about I'm not saying Le'Veon Bell. I'm just saying like someone that I can rely on getting me good yards and has the ability to carry that kind of workload. Until we get that, no, we got to be passing more, man.
If you guys have any questions in the chat about the Texans, let us know. We might come back to them later on. We'll actually have the opportunity at the end of the show, like we always do, to answer your questions. So we're going to move on to some Astros stuff now. Offseason, obviously, very disappointing that we didn't make it to the World Series and that the Red Sox completely demolished us in the playoffs. But let's first talk about Marwin Gonzalez. It's not looking like he's going to be back next season. I personally am going to miss him. I think he was a guy that you could pretty much go to for anything. You could put him anywhere and he's going to be effective. But do you think that we're going to miss him next season? Is that going to hurt this team?
Absolutely, man. It took me 2 or 3 years to come around on Marwin. To me, Marwin Gonzalez is like Jeff Blum was. Just can play anywhere on the field. Like that one commercial on the sports on the sports radio. Jeff Blum, don't knock yourself. You were like the ultimate utility guy. I mean, he had a 98 fielding percentage his entire Marwin is that kind of guy. You can put him in the outfield, you can put him in the infield, you can put him at short, you can put him at first, you can put him at third, you can put him at second, you can put him like everywhere but catcher, essentially. I mean, that is really difficult. And he's a switch hitter. You know how I love my switch hitters, man. I'm saying to me, it's going to be hard to replace. And I honestly think he'll be missed unless they add some key pieces. Seriously.
Yeah, man. I'm right there with you. I'm going to miss him. I mean, he's a guy who, he was a solid stick, and then you can place him anywhere on the field, and he's going to be productive for you.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, I'm really going to miss him. I hope for whatever miraculous reason we get him back, but I just don't see it happening. I think that there's so many more teams with much more money who are interested in him that are going to end up scooping him up. Also, the Astros have been making some moves. They picked up Aldamis Diaz from the Blue Jays. If you're not familiar with him, he hit .263 at that was his batting average. He also had 18 home runs, 55 RBIs, but he did spend some time on the DL with an ankle injury. What do you think about the pickup?
It's the Marwin replacement. He did pretty much the similar thing for the Blue Jays. Can play mainly infield, but he can play anywhere. He can play the outfield if he need. To me, he was just okay. If Marwin didn't come back, we at least got a utility guy. That's exactly what that pickup was. It's not a bad pickup. Yeah, he's injured, but then again, Marwin is too. So I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. Like again, Lunau doing what he does best, finding those hidden gems to replace what you had, just in case it goes the wrong way. Here's a little stick. Let's say this. Let's say we keep him and we get Marwin back. Now you got 2 different guys that could play all over the place. You give those people time off, like a Bregman or Correa, or maybe Correa, can find his lumber in the offseason and leave his wife alone. Because ever since he proposed to her, I'm telling you, ever since he proposed to her, man, he's gone downhill. And I'm telling you, man, the split tail has got him all fucked up right now. And I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with an injury. It has to do with his mind is elsewhere. His mind's on the pootie tang. That's all it is to it. I like the fact that Paxton's name is being mentioned as far as pitchers. I am very happy to hear that. I'm also extremely happy to hear that Houston has actually, believe it or not, has contacted Nelly Cruz. Josh Ennis called that shit, dude. You put Nelson Cruz, a power left-handed stick that consistently hits 30, 40 home runs a year and 100 RBIs, as the DH from the left hand side in a predominantly right-handed lineup, that's killer. That's a killer, dude. If that rumor comes through, that's insane. That's gonna be kick ass.
And that's not even the best part.
No,
your boy.
Yeah, JP, come to Houston, baby.
It turns out that the Astros have actually reached out to the Marlins about a possible JT Realmuto trade, and this guy batted at .277, 74 RBIs.
Yep.
And 21 home runs. Imagine. Go ahead.
And he's a killer. He's a killer. He's a good catcher. He calls a good game.
Yeah. And that's something we need to address right now as catcher.
Yep.
That and pitching, I think, are the two things that really need to be addressed this offseason, and they're doing it. I mean, you got to love the front office of Houston right now.
Oh, I love Lunau, dude. God, I wish Houston, the Texans could take a page from Lunau, man. I mean, I know he's more analytic driven more than most, but still, it's working. It's working. Whatever he's doing, it's working, man. Seems like Morey's kind of taken a step back as far as his GMing is concerned. But for my money, the best GM in the city, hands down, is Lunau.
Yeah.
Period.
For sure.
And it's not even close.
So imagine Cruz, Realmuto, retaining Gonzalez, and now Diaz. I mean, my goodness. The offense. I mean, we thought the offense was already good. Imagine how productive they could be next season with all those pieces.
If the offense, if everyone stays healthy and you add those pieces, we're going to destroy people. I'm talking... I'm honestly, I'll be comfortable saying that we could challenge the major league record for wins. It would be, especially if we put Paxton in the mix. Oh my God, dude! Oh my God! I'm just saying, man. Like that could be insane.
Well, speaking of Paxton, let's talk about pitching a little more. That's obviously a big issue that needs to be addressed. With Keuchel on his way out, we're probably not going to retain Morton, although it is possible. But we have Verlander, who we could probably still get a solid year or two out of. We have Cole, both of who are, I think, due next year for renewals. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But we definitely need a plan for next season. And we're short. We are shorthanded. So who do you see as some targets that you would actually like to see the Astros pursue in free agency?
Man, honestly, I don't want him to pursue Paxton. I'm good with him pursuing, but other than that, I don't want him to pursue anybody. I want him to bring up their farm hands, the Forrest Whitleys. We got to see a little bit of James. You know what I mean? I want to see. What about God? I can't believe I'm saying this. What about McHugh? McHugh is a solid starter, man. He'll give you 5 or 6 on a day in, day out basis. I mean, he may get rocked. Sometimes he's damn near unhittable, and other times he gets hammered. But, I mean, look what – he was one of the only pitchers in the playoffs doing anything worth a shit, if you think about it, against Boston lineup that was tearing up everyone else. I mean, I honestly don't want to see them go after a free agent pitcher, so to speak. I actually want to see them trade for some pitchers. I don't know. I guess this is just kind of a fanboy in me, like Snell.
Okay.
What would you like to give up for Snell? I'm serious. I'm not joking.
No, I know. It's going to be expensive. And
it has to be a left-handed pitcher. It has to be a left-handed pitcher. We are dying on left-handed pitchers in our rotation. With Keuchel leaving, we really don't have a left-hander. Now I sit here and think about it. I mean, are you going to bring up some lefties? I mean, who would you bring up? I mean, see, and that's kind of my point. Like, as far as free agents go, I would want them to target and kind of utilize their farm system to get that third or fourth left-handed starter. That's just me personally, but I mean, I know Snell is like a tall, that's a tall order to try to pull off, but to me, just go after somebody left-handed that can give you 5 or 6 innings.
Yeah. And then we got a question in the chat that I believe is about the Astros. It only makes sense. H-Train asks, what is the main reason you believe we lost this year? Plain and simple, I just think Boston was too hot to stop. And I also believe that key players for us, such as Correa, our catchers, they just dropped off. Pitching was terrible in that series against Boston. So yeah, that's why I believe that we lost. And like I said, Boston was just very, very hot.
Yeah, I think we ran into a buzzsaw. I think we ran into us last year, to the Astros of the year before.
Yeah.
Because they looked very similar the way that they were playing. So, hey, but we lost to the eventual champions. I mean, in my mind, we're the second best team in majors. That's nothing to scoff at. Because whether it had been Milwaukee or LA, I think Houston would have beat the shit out of either one of them personally. But that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, and if you're gonna lose to anyone, you want it to be to the champs.
The champs, exactly. Yeah. That was the only thing I said when after they won it. I was like, well, at least we lost to the eventual world champs. So,
I got an interesting little question for you that I actually saw come across my Facebook feed. It was one of those crazy little, debaters. But who do you think was the better team? The Cubs, who won the World Series, obviously. The Red Sox this year. Or last year's Astros?
Last year's Astros.
Yeah, I believe that offense is too hot.
Yeah, you can never count them out. Look at the Game 5 Dodger game. I mean, they go up, we go up, we tie them. They go up, we tie them. We go up, they tie us back. We go up again. Like, it was. I mean, I've never seen a playoff series, in particular that Dodgers Astros series, where there were so many lead changes and so many runs being put on the board with quality pitching on the mound. It was insane to see.
With that, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the chat. We'll answer them like we just did for H-Train. And then, James, did you have anything you wanted to talk about as we begin to wind down, whether it is Astros, whether it's Texans, Rockets? I mean, I think we've pretty much beat a dead horse with the Texans already.
Yeah. I've been talking about it a little bit, but I'm really getting into. I'm gonna start really focusing a little more time when I'm not doing draft analysis and stuff like that. I'm gonna start focusing on SaberCats rugby. I'm with the pussification of the NFL. I'm looking for something to satisfy that loss. Grittiness, that lost man on man, Imano, just snot slobbering, knock them out kind of shit. And rugby seems to be the places where it's at. I honestly I gotta say, some of the toughest players, or just from what I've been watching, just on like film studies and stuff like that. Like, there's this big Samoan dude. I don't know who. I think he plays. They're called like the Blacks, which is like the Yankees of rugby overseas or something like that. They're literally called the Blacks. They wear all black. There's this Samoan dude on there he has to be 6'5", 270 pounds, and he is yoked. And he is just running over people and running through people with no pads on. Oh, and he incidentally can kick a fucking football or a rugby ball, which is harder to kick than a football from what I understand. But I want to get into it more, man. I did this before with arena football because I wanted to kind of understand the what's the attraction of arena football back in the day. I got into it, and then I just realized, oh my God, this is like hockey / football without the fighting. It wasn't my cup of tea. But I've been watching rugby matches and rugby highlights and like kind of get into it. And I gotta be honest with you, man. I think I'm gonna catch a SaberCats game and just see what it's like, to see what the atmosphere is like. see just the hitting of it in general. I want kind of a comparison. You know what I mean? And not to mention, I'm also going to kind of use that as a springboard because to me, like I told you guys before, I like to scout. I'm all about scouting and prospects and stuff like that. And I'm surprised it hasn't happened more in the NFL, but I know it's a different game. But I mean, I'm talking as far as the attributes, the skill, and the athleticism, and the hit power, and all that other stuff. I would be as a scout. I would look into rugby players. I'm not joking. Obviously that they'd have to learn the game a little bit or something like that. Hell, I'd even retain them as a contract and then send them to the Canadian League on the condition that they'd come back after they learn football a little bit. I don't know. Just, like I said, my ultimate dream job would be a scout. Would be an NFL scout for the Texans, and I would be looking everywhere for talent, even some Joe Schmo making YouTube videos or something like that. I would be looking everywhere for talent, man. And that's just so I'm going to try to focus on a little bit of rugby, man, a little saber cat rugby, and see what comes out of that.
Yeah, but I've been hearing a lot about rugby, man. It really took off when I was in high school, especially. We started a rugby team and everything, and a lot of people seem to like it. So yeah, maybe that's something.
It's football without pads, dude. It's backyard football, man. It's like mano a mano, dude. There's no it's your ass. If you're not careful, someone's gonna put a shoulder to your chin and you're gonna go down. Yeah. And I've seen clothesline videos. I've seen where this dude basically took his hand and punched the dude as a stiff arm, like did a stiff arm punch, like a Bruce Lee 1-inch punch on this dude and broke his nose. And like the dude got up who got hit, got up and kept playing with a broken fucking nose. Like, dude, I'm like, this guy's got balls. Like, that's the kind of shit I like to see. That's the kind of shit that I would wish the NFL would come back to. I mean, these guys are just, they're tough, dude. They're tough little, they're not even little either. They're big shits, dude. There's some big fucking dudes out there, man.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. Next year, well, obviously there's 2 new football leagues starting up soon. One of them being the XFL.
Ugh, God, he hate me.
For one, would you be interested in Houston acquiring an XFL team? And 2, if they did, would you watch it? And even if they didn't, are you planning on even checking out the XFL once it kicks off in 2020?
Okay. So the XFL has to be. Is Vince McMahon gonna still spearhead that?
He's the owner, but he hired actually Andrew Luck's dad, Oliver Luck, to be the commissioner of the league.
Oh. Didn't get that bit of news. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, I would watch it. Yes, I'd be interested in it. But to me, what's going to make the XFL right now, and it's actually kind of a brilliant business move if it's done right. What's going to make the XFL right now is if they do everything that the NFL is doing wrong right now and they do it right. That's the only way that this is going to succeed. And if the NFL was smart, just thinking about it, because they have to know that their product is going down on the field, right? They need to have kind of like a semi-pro league anyway. To me, it's crazy that the Canadian League is kind of like the NFL minor league system. You know what I mean? And I would like something in states that was kind of like a minor league system for the NFL. I think it would be cool, to see something different. I don't want them to have the crazy looking footballs, and I don't want to have players saying he hate me on the back of his damn jersey. I don't want to have every 5 yards marked off. I don't want to have a Canadian League football where it's wide. The field is wider than it is long. There's got to be little things that are different but are very similar to the NFL. And if it's done right, I think it could be killer. And actually, if you really want to get crazy with it, if you want to make, and this is just one of my off one of the things that kind of personally bugs me, how insignificant the Pro Bowl is in the NFL. It's a joke. You go ahead and you put a Pro Bowl XFL versus NFL game.
Whoa.
That's a great idea waiting to pop, I think. If it's done right, and then whoever wins has, I don't know, hell, have bragging rights or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, if the XFL was serious, there's good ideas there waiting to pop.
Well, now that you say something like that, let's say this. I know for sure that the NFL would never allow anything like that to happen, especially with their players. Yeah. But if you want to get real crazy, how about getting some of the retired greats of all time, assembling a team and letting them play some of the XFL's best? Sign someone like who thinks they can still go, like Michael Irvin, or have a Dan Marino, Terrell Owens. I'm not calling him an all-time great, but Vince Young. You know, guys who used to play with a name who want to prove themselves.
Jamarcus Russell,
exactly, and
Johnny Manziel.
Let them play against some guys in the XFL for a one-off, once a year kind of thing, kind of deal. I think that could draw. Oh, Wink is in the chat. He said, "What's good, fellas? What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I again, if the XFL is done right, it would be interesting. Like I said, it would basically be a minor league system to feed the NFL, just kind of like the Canadian League and the Arena Football League, and But again, if it's done right, and everything that the pussification is going on with the NFL. Man, if it's done right, it could work, man. And I'm going to stand by that. I hope that comes. Maybe that'll come into fruition. But I would love to see an XFL Pro Bowl versus the NFL Pro Bowl. Just have a one-time game.
Yeah.
After the season's ended, anyone that's in the Super Bowl or whatever like that or playoffs, obviously wouldn't be a part of it. But just to have bragging rights, man, just to see how crazy that shit would be.
Yeah, that's great. And like you said, if they do everything right that the NFL is doing wrong, like they've already said things like, we want to make the game shorter. It's too long. Make it go faster, a faster paced game. I think they say they care about the players' safety and things like that. But from kind of the things they were saying, they were talking about like real football, real hitting and stuff like that. And I think when you have a new company like that, you have to say we care about player safety and whatnot. And maybe they will look into helmet innovations and things like that. But I really do think that they want smash mouth football. They were talking about making the game faster, maybe like eliminating kickoffs and stuff like that, which I don't think they'll do, but they're just throwing around ideas at this point.
Yeah, but see, like I said, to me, when the NFL lost most of their fan base for whatever reason, whether they didn't like the kneeling or the pussification of it, or there's a number of reasons why people are not really watching NFL games as much as they used to. I mean, if you can grab some of those guys, those fanatics that love the game, I'm talking about those kind of people that made YouTube videos about burning all their memorabilia from like their whole, like all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people like that. I mean, again, if it's done right, it could take off. The reality is, probably won't be done right. It'll be another crazy he hate me thing, and I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think that's an idea, though.
Yeah, and then there's another one that's starting next year, actually. I believe it's with NBC. I'm not too familiar with it. I don't know exactly what it consists of as much as I do XFL. Obviously, I cover professional wrestling, Vince McMahon. I'm a lot more in tune with what's going on with the XFL, but yeah, I think it could be interesting, and I think it has potential, honestly. I think Vince McMahon learned from his past mistakes with the initial one. I think bringing in someone like Oliver Luck to spearhead the operation is probably a very good idea. And, learning from a lot of things that NFL fans are displeased with the product, I think that the XFL will incorporate that and try and make a much more appealing game.
Right.
Obviously, the competition is going to be a little because of the
Yeah.
caliber of players you have and whatnot, but that's to be expected. And plus, it gives us some football fans to watch something during the offseason, which we don't really have that
Right.
option right now. So
Like if they brought a Houston team to the XFL, God, I hope it's the Gamblers. Oh God, I would so love that shit. Oh, that would be so awesome, dude. I'm sorry, I like the old Jim Kelly Gamblers, man. That shit was. I like the logo. I liked it all, man. It was awesome.
H Train says in the chat, I want to see Alabama versus Houston game on pay-per-view. I would honestly bet on Alabama in that game. I'm not even joking.
The way they're playing, fuck yes, I'd take Alabama too.
Well, guys, I think that's a pretty good point to end it. Unless you got anything else you want to talk about, plug, Ray?
Nothing, man. I got nothing else.
Well, we touched on the Texans. We touched on a little bit of the Astros stuff.
XFL.
XFL, yeah. We'll see what becomes of that. But yeah, next week, Texans Titans. That'll be interesting, man. This team's put me through the ringer. And let me just before we go, I'll end by saying this. A lot of people who may come here randomly and find our channel are gonna think, oh, these guys hate the Texans, whatever. No, this team is my team. I love this team to death. But I'm not gonna be a yes man when it comes to this team. I'm not gonna just cheer and sing the team's praises for the sake of doing so. If this team is doing something like they are right now and being less than they can be, if there is a glaring issue, which I believe currently to be Bill O'Brien, we're going to talk about it. That's what the show's about. Real, raw, and uncensored. That's what you're going to get. And that even goes with the Astros. We don't talk shit about the Astros too much because they really don't give us too much to talk about, to trash them on. The organization is run about as best as you can. You can tell that the front office wants to win titles. And I just don't see that from the Texans. Now, granted, we ripped them to shreds when they lost to Boston. We were angry. We were angry.
We were pissed.
And we're gonna do that for every team in Houston. So if you're watching us, I'm wearing my JJ Watt jersey still. I love this team. I always will. We can, whether we're 0-7, 16 or 16-0, we're gonna find something to bitch about. That's just the game. But with that being said, guys, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. It really helps us out.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks for sticking with us, and we will see you next week.